Live 95.1 presents Youth on the Rise. Youth on the Rise. A radio show by the youth for the youth. Join your hosts, Craig Hardell and Tanya Elias, as we shed light on pertinent topics at the cornerstone of our lives and our nation. Tune in to hear our guests every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. as we impart knowledge and guidance to our listeners. Don't forget, every Monday night from 8 to 9 p.m. on Live 95.1 FM. Youth on the Rise. Good evening, listeners from St.Lucia and online. Welcome to another episode of Youth on the Rise. Again, I am your host, Craig Hardell. And before I begin, I would like to first convey my apologies for not being on air for 2 weeks. Yes, people, it has been that long. And this was due to issues outside of my control. But this evening, I am back, and we are back. And this evening's segment is very interesting for most, and it is something that I'm sure that most listeners will want to hear about. Again, listeners, let me apologize for not being on for the past 2 weeks, and look forward to having a very good segment this evening, and also to continue the process of actually informing others, us all learning from each other, and us growing as one. Okay, so this evening segment we have here is back to school, preparing for an academic school year. Now, I know that school year has already begun, and we are 2 3 weeks into school year of most levels, primary, secondary, some tertiary. However, a lot of what will be shared here is quite valuable, and I hope that everyone is prepared to learn from it. Again, people, don't always rely on memory. If you need to write down, write down. Also, you're free to make a contribution to the show. You're free to add your opinion, voice your opinion as well. Okay, so the phone lines will remain open. And also, you could be contacted via WhatsApp. Again, listeners, remember that the number is 714-5574. Again, I repeat, the number is 714-5574. Okay. Now, what do you think of going back to school after taking a break from the summer, or even beginning a new stint? We normally think of getting back in the groove of keeping with an academic schedule, assignments, class, getting up early, and really getting ourselves disciplined again. And during the summer, yes, we have that time to really relax, do whatever we like, and not care about that much. And listeners, getting back sometimes takes some time. Yes, we begin, yes, we know the date for school is near, but part of us still do not want to be there. And during the summer, we were loving it, and we always never want it to end. Now, I'm going to divide this segment into 4 categories. Again, first of all, I'm going to look at the academic side of things. Also, I'm going to speak on health-wise. Again, I'm going to be giving out a lot of tips as to how to really manage budget, eating habits, sleeping habits during the school year, okay, and really how to be in optimal health most of the time. Thirdly, I'm going to speak on financial components, where I cover some tips in allocating money, spending money, and also a bit of shopping tips as well. Now, when we begin with the academic side of things, first and foremost, students, parents need to make sure that they have all that they need, all the materials that they need, and they need to do their best to make sure that they have all the required textbooks necessary for school year, whatever level that they are at, whatever course that they have to take, and really and truly, it is something that is very important. One thing that works against most of us is that, especially if we do not have certain materials, for example, it could be stationery, again books as well, and others have, we begin to feel less confident immediately, and we not always feel ready, and that, as small as it is, as meager as it may seem, can actually affect performance. Again, stationery, basic stationery like sharpeners, pens, pencils, dividers, rulers, folders, file sheets, basic stuff, and making sure you have them on hand, making sure you have them, you don't have to borrow, and making sure that really you do not rush for things. It's there, it's yours, and not have to worry too much. Because what happens is that when a child do not have something, or is not own something, or do constantly have to borrow, it plays on their minds, right? They feel that those who have are better than them in some sense. They feel that they're disadvantaged. I'm not ignoring the fact that there are people who may be financially more privileged than others. Again, as much as I see this, sometimes some people do not have the books at the beginning of the school year because they didn't really have the money to buy them. I know that sometimes it's just that the books are not around. I mean, a lot of parents say that the books are not available and you just can't find them. All right? So that is understandable as well. However, parents and students as well get all what you need. It is very important. It's very important because you'll be a lot better organized for the school year. And you'll be a lot more focused in class and on the new material that you're about to absorb. Number one. Number two, here, you need to become familiar with your school environment, people. Students, those who are new to a particular institution, go around the school, learn about the various areas there, learn names of the teachers, names of staff, what they do. Okay? Because what you find, especially if a child is new to a particular institution, a particular setting, a particular area, they seem to be very uneasy to approach new people or to even, yeah, to even reach out to new people around that place, around the area, and they get very stifled, they get very drawn in. So when a child knows the school, knows the compound well, it helps them settle. It helps them feel more comfortable with the place. Yes, learning new names, new faces will take time, but it'll always help when the child and even the parents as well knows around the school, knows where is the cafeteria, for example, laboratory, classrooms, upper, lower, older, younger, whichever. It always helps to be familiar with the school, your schooling environment. Okay? And you need to make sure that you understand the areas that you're really working in. Again, you find common thing you find is that newer students, they're very timid. Yes, um, you don't know many people. Yes, I mean, seems scary, say for a new university student. It just seems daunting at start, and it always helps to know not just school environment, but say laboratory, where things are. You may not know it offhand, but have an idea. Okay, it always helps. Primary, secondary, it always helps when a child doesn't constantly have to ask where things are and can simply go get something themselves, go ask for something themselves, okay, and move around at will. That is important. Next, students coming into a new school year, coming fresh, rested from the summer, tired too, maybe. You need to be eager to learn, right? You need to be eager to absorb new information for the coming year. And this is important because some students go approach a new school year and they have the mindset that you're not really interested or it's just there and it's nothing much to look forward to. But students, people, listeners, every year that you are in school is a privilege. You understand that? And yes, we take it for granted. We have access to education. Now we have universal secondary education. But in other places, they don't. Okay? They just don't. And we never see it that way. We love to push our expectations on people and really not take time and recognize the value of what we actually have. So, what I'm leading to is that students should view every year as an opportunity to learn more about whatever subject areas they're studying, whatever technical field they're pursuing, whatever qualification that they're pursuing. Learn more. Because that is what really school is for. Yes, we have a socialization and a fun aspect. However, you're there to learn. Okay? To learn. And people, students, should really learn to love what is shown to them, what is taught, what is in store. Because sometimes students dislike subjects. They dislike, say, a teacher or a particular concept. And it sometimes, however, may have something to do with, again, the aptitude. Say, some students say they're not a science person, they're not a math person. Yeah, we know that. However, some of them, they just have this mental block. And they know they don't like maths, so whenever they hear they don't like maths, when they hear maths, something wrong with them. They cannot function, like some people like to say. And they have this blockage, and they refuse to even consider understanding the material or understanding a concept that is being laid out to them. They refuse to even try. And listeners, students that are listening, the parents of students, whether you're a teacher or you're a parent, or you know a child listening, that is bad. Okay? That is bad. I know that we have pretty poor pass rate for mathematics CXE. And yes, we say that as educators, and I'm a teacher myself, we see that students do not apply themselves, they do not practice, they do not do what they're supposed to do. But they don't have no passion for the subjects. Again, I mentioned math, but the others as well, they have no passion for what they're doing. And if the students not love what they're doing, if they don't see a joy in doing it, apart from getting the grades, we live in a society we think grades are everything. Yes, they're important, and clearly they are very important. However, where is the actual eagerness to learn? to understand, and to really absorb the new information, right? To apply what they just learned, to use what they just picked up, the knowledge that they just picked up in the outside world. Okay? And people face it. Students, a lot of times, they're just bored. Right? We wonder why they're not interested. Okay? Why they simply are not captivated by the material that is being taught. And a lot of them, a lot of times, sorry, they don't see the use in it. Yes, we have things that people just do not have any aptitude for. You may explain the application to them a million times. Nah, they just don't get it. But even if they did not get it, at least they should appreciate it. They should learn to appreciate it. Yes, we cannot be good at everything. Yes, we cannot be very interested in everything. That is fact. However, we should learn to understand the significance of a particular subject, particular topic, particular eh, field of study. And I believe that is one, especially with mathematics. That is one thing that is not done enough. Alright. So students at the beginning of the school year, we need to be open to learning new information. Okay? That zeal has to be there. We need to go to school eager to learn. I guess again there are many other things apart from learning that take place at school. However, the way that we approach school has to change completely. You wonder why some students do better than others, and we not realize it's just their approach. Just their approach. Right? Some students cringe at homework while others are actually happy to do it. Right? Some students shy away from asking questions, admitting they do not understand something, and others don't simply do not care what you think. They just raise their hand. They just want to know, they just want to understand. Right? It's the attitude that has to change. And it's not something that you can get overnight, as much as I'm saying it. However, students need to be engaged in subjects that they actually really like. Okay? And even if they do not like it, they need to understand the importance of it so that they can put in the work and the time and the effort to love it and get good grades. Okay? So, listeners, being eager to learn, especially at the beginning of the new year, that can be a new term as well. Being excited really, really helps. And it is one thing that really should not be overlooked. Again, do not see school as something to get through, but see it as an opportunity to widen your knowledge base and learn about yourself. Again, we go through school, sorry, and yes, we learn a lot, but we don't learn about ourselves. And that is not always the fault of the educators, but those going through school, whether it's secondary, even tertiary, we don't really use what's around to really understand ourselves. Again, concepts, we learn it, put it aside, never even consider it, or never even consider what it means to us, what implications it has to us, what whether or not we actually fall victim to whatever is taught, whatever is being explained. Alright? There is no self development. And school should be a tool where just not just that we get educated and gain knowledge, we really understand ourselves a lot deeper. And that is a very and another big aspect. Students, being prepared for school year, again, study timetables help. However, we need to make sure that they're realistic. Some students, as much as they want to impress people, yes, they themselves set a goal, they want to study for X, Y, Z hours, or they have this schedule in their mind they want to stick to. Not the beginning of the year, throughout the year, the end of the year. They don't stick to it. In other words, people set a timeline, set a schedule at home, what's done, set one that is realistic. On the flip side, it has to be realistic. However, you have to devote enough time for practice. And when I say realistic, set one that you know you can do. That is not way above the habits that you have. If a child never studies and wants to begin to do a bit more, you don't expect a child to begin to do 5 hours immediately. It has to be progressive. It has to be progressive. And it has to go up in increments and really allow the student to be more comfortable. The student has to be comfortable with it. It has to be feasible for them. It has to be manageable. It has to be manageable for them. And so many times, even teachers and those advising, we give students schedules that they just cannot stick to and wonder why they don't even try. Yes, they try at first, but they don't sustain it. It's just too hard for them. So parents, mentors, whoever is helping a child, and even children themselves, set something that is realistic and something that you can stick to. Okay. Finally, or rather, the next one is that try to get a study buddy. All right, try to get somebody you can at least study with, somebody you feel comfortable in explaining some difficult points to, somebody you can help, somebody who can help you. It helps. It really helps. Again, it's something that we say a lot, but we do not do. But it's something that really helps. It helps sometimes avoid embarrassment. And yes, we all have things that when we go to school that we do not understand, but we're afraid to tell the teacher. We embarrass that this or that. I don't know. I mean, it happens. And similarly, it helps have someone share with you the things that they don't understand, and you can help them. Helping them builds your self-esteem, right? You're helping somebody, and it does the same for them when they actually help you. When they actually help you, it does the same for them. So again, a study buddy is important, and make it something that two of you or even more study group you meet regularly, at least once a week. You bounce ideas off each other. You challenge each other. Too many times people say they have study buddies and it's just lip service. They're just there. They don't do anything. There's no challenge. There's no competition. And a little competition is healthy. However, the main goal of it is that all those within the study group or two study buddies should be trying to make each other better. That way, all sides benefit. Use time on campus wisely. Use time at school wisely. Too many times, students go attend new institutions and they get lost in the life there. And yes, it's nice to learn new things, new places, but the time management completely goes out of whack. In other words, they don't manage their time in school or outside. And I know I just said manage them on campus wisely, especially when you have an institution where a lot of amenities are offered. Say you have gym or you have dance, especially students who do not come from a school environment where a lot is offered, they get sucked in. And I remember speaking to somebody recently and it reminded me of that. And yes, if it happens to you, any student listening, don't judge yourself. We're human, okay? Don't beat yourself up. However, you need to make sure that doesn't matter how rich the experience of the institution is, what's offered, the extracurricular activities offered, that you devote an adequate amount of time to your studies. And that never changes, not even fluctuates. You have to make sure that you put the time in to get the grades. Okay? You really have to do that. You should not compromise on the amount of time that you put in to your studies and to your schoolwork. Finally, under that category, students try to build new friendships. We go to school year after year and we have the same friends. Yes, nothing is wrong with that, but we not add anybody. We not try to understand new people, form connections with new people, and really learn more about others. Learning about someone's life, the influence, it teaches you as well. And it always offers a new lesson. And I know sometimes people do it, well, most people do it not actively, nor intentionally, but rather when a friendship has been broken down. In other words, somebody betrayed them or they betrayed somebody and now they have no one else. So naturally they cling to somebody else. Again, I know a lot of girls do that. Alright? So say the best friend was the only one that they spoke to. Now the best friend is gone, somebody else. That other friend may not be as good as the best friend. But they don't have a choice. Who else is there? So the point I'm trying to make here, listeners, is that it is good whether you're the best child in the class, or you're average per se. I'm speaking in terms of grades. That you try to meet new people every year. Meet new people that you do not know. Get close to them. Learn about them. Alright? It'll help. It will add to your perspective on school, on yourself, and on life. Do not underestimate the power of learning something new about somebody. You may learn something that you do not know. You may learn a particular way of life that you do not know, a particular habit. You may learn that you're not so odd after all. I mean, yeah. Many of us always think that whatever we deal with is always the worst, or we are the worst, and we beat up ourselves so much. Only to not realize that people are actually just like us. We all have our flaws, our insecurities, and meeting new people and seeing their strengths and their flaws as well will make you understand that and will humble you. Okay? Now, again, moving on to health. Health tips are students, listeners, parents, those who pack students' lunches for them. Yeah, I'm a teacher myself, so I see a lot of what children has in their bags. Try to avoid junk food and try to avoid, if not limit it. Rather, sorry, try to limit, if not eliminate it. I know it's easier to get the junk food. You don't have time. Run to the supermarket, take the chips, put it in the bag, or take the juice, take the soda, put it in the bag. It's quicker. It's more convenient. It's everywhere. However, children need quality food, and yes, it may be a little more expensive, but it's worth it, people. We think that the fact that food has a nice label on it is cheaper, right? Nice label, nice superhero. At the end of it, that is the better food for the child. No. Yes, I'm not saying a child cannot have a snack, But the mainstay of their eating, the mainstay of their diet has to be a lot healthier. Again, I remember bringing Mr. Lionel on, and we spoke at length about this actual phenomenon. Again, the sodas, people cut down on that, avoid it. Also, students need to drink more water, right? Again, myself, physical education teacher, one thing that saddens me, honestly, is that students don't drink water. I mean, drinking water has so many benefits. I always tell the students, drinking water has so many benefits, apart from physical education. Students seem to have the notion that the water is just for PE, or the water is just for sports. And people, no, no. You don't only have to bring water to school, bring water to work too. You need to hydrate yourself, right? Again, today it was really hot, especially in the swells or in heat. You need to have that fluid to cleanse your body, right? Remove all that excess sugar that we have, all the waste products our liver, our kidneys are breaking down, right? When you drink enough water, people, your mood is better. You know that? And you can tell how much waste is in your body by the color of your urine. Okay? Yellow, a lot still in there. If it's clearer, a lot less. Okay? But the water is very, very important. And parents, parents, primary school especially, and secondary school, of course, give the children water. Okay? No, the water is not, sorry, the soda is not more valuable than the water. Right? Not at all. And the sugar in the soda actually, it actually is very bad. Okay? It's very, very bad. These things are highly acidic, and it has no nutrients in there. And the water hydrates you, but a lot of them, because of the amount of sugar that's in there, they actually dehydrate you. The opposite of what water does. And the point is that you need to give children water. Students, older ones, you need to buy water. Alright? You need to buy water. And if you do not have money to buy water, you boil water from home. Right? Take your water from home. Alright? We seem to be ashamed to buy water, to bring water from home. We don't understand how important it is. Right? We wonder why people have such high diabetic rates, why people are so sick, why people have so many wrinkles on their faces, why people get dehydrated. They're not drinking enough water, right? You're not drinking enough water. Plain and simple. Moving on. We need to replace a lot of the junk food that we eat with some fruits and vegetables. And again, I mentioned about parents and it being easy to pick simply junk food off the shelf because it's readily available, it's everywhere, and it's a little tougher sometimes to get fruits, vegetables. They're not always available, they're not always in season. Yes, we know all that. However, if you cannot get them, if you're not willing to get them, if you don't have the time to get them, grow them. All right, grow them at home. Also, buy in bulk. All right, this is simple, but it's a very effective tips. Buy in bulk. All right. Again, listeners, if you like to have a say, make a contribution, add something to what I'm saying. Number to get us, contact my show, 714-5574. Again, number 714-5574. And if we would replace a lot of the unhealthy food that we consume, the junk, sugar, foods high in sugar, add no nutritional value whatsoever. Give some fruits, some vegetables, Would be a lot healthier. A lot healthier. And yes, we love to push exercise. We love to advocate exercise. But if your diet is not in check, I'm sorry, the exercise won't be as effective. If you're trying to lose weight and you're not eating less calories, it won't work. And if you eat a lot of calories and you try to burn calories, you simply adding on to what you have already. In other words, to lose weight, you exercise, you burn some calories, but you shouldn't be putting it back in immediately. What's the point? A lot of people do that. A lot of people, they think they can go walk. Again, I'm not beating on anyone who walks. I think walking is actually a great way to burn fat. Don't get me wrong. But the exercise, they do the exercise only and they don't pay heed to the diet, right? And in school, similarly, we focus on exercise, the need for the children to do more, and we don't address the diet. The diet is important too. Students, what you eat affects your mental clarity and how well you can focus in school, right? How well you can focus on what's in class. So you need to eat the right foods. Okay. Some people seem to have some shame when they have fruits or vegetables. No, no. That kind of thinking is degrading our society. So we need to be encouraged to eat more fruits and vegetables. And it has to be sold more on the school. And I believe it's because of all the junk food that's sold. And it being allowed to. Yes, people are free to consume what they like. However, more of the good things need to become available. Alright? More of the good things need to be at the students' grasp. And they need to be encouraged to try them and consume them. So that they can become lifelong habits that they will carry on when they get older. Again, another thing, students, is that we need to eat breakfast. It's not a wise thing to go to school. Whatever level of education, when you're listening, that you actually attempting pursuing at the moment, it's not wise to skip breakfast. Okay? Eat your breakfast. Again, it said that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Again, remember, you've slept for 6, 8 hours. That's a long time for the body to go without food. And you need to put something in there. Alright? The body needs nutrients to function. It needs the energy. And you're really degrading your clarity of focus. How clear your thinking is when you do not consume breakfast. Again, sometimes children come to school and you wonder why they're so inattentive, why they're so just not interested, why they're so downtrodden. They didn't have breakfast. So please, parents, even if it's something light, give the children something. And students, older ones, if there's a meal you should skip, it should not be breakfast. Alright? Even if you're in a hurry, get up and cook. Some of us are just lazy. Some of us are just lazy. Right? Make something to eat. Even if it's something quick. Try to make it nutritious, but get something to eat. Alright? So that is very, very important. Next, again, I mentioned don't skip breakfast, but again, you should not skip meals. Try not to skip meals. Wash your hands, people. Wash your hands. A lot of germs can be transferred from sink, basin, pipes, because many people use them. And washing hands is better. Again, I know sanitizers are around, especially if your hands are dirty. Wash your hands. Sanitizers, they're an okay substitute. I use it too. But it's always better to wash your hands. And it removes all that grime and that dirt that's in there. Because you never know, as much as you may think that you didn't touch anything or your hands didn't go anywhere, you'll be surprised if they actually have to scan your hand, the amount of germs that's on there. Just by where you are. Okay, so it's not necessarily what you touch, what you had your hands in, but just where you are. There may be a lot of germs around. So you have to be extra careful with that one. Again, multivitamins is helpful. Again, parents encourage to give the students a multivitamin. Students take one, it's helpful. It shouldn't replace you need to get some nutrients. For me, it's most effective when someone say is their diet simply they don't get a certain nutrient out of it. Example, vegetarians again they get very little protein, a lot of them, and vegans as well. Again, multivitamin is not only for these. However, those who need more and those who are not getting it from their diet, they need one, especially especially them. But everyone needs a multivitamin, and it's always helpful to supplement what you actually consume. As much as academic schedule kicks in for the new year, you need to make sure that you make some time for exercise. Yes, when you go home, you need to relax, but you can also relax through exercise as well. Getting some exercise, at least 20 minutes of vigorous exercise, really helps. It really helps relax the mind, especially from stress of work, schoolwork. It really helps to relax the body. And it is something that is overlooked, and it is something that children especially need to do. Again, naturally the younger ones like to move around, however the older ones think that they're old and they don't need to do that anymore. And it many times actually accounts for poor performance. Yes, so when sit down, you focus in school, but you don't exercise enough. You don't take time to strengthen the fitness, cardiovascular endurance, the flexibility. People, all these things count. Again, I remember speaking to some students and telling them that, well, explain the importance of PE to them. And a lot of parents, I'm glad that I have this platform, a lot of parents seem to think that PE is not important, sports in schools is not important, but they couldn't be more wrong, right? It is very important, people. Children need some degree of exercise, and a lot of children not get the amount of exercise that they need, and that really degrades their focus in class, right? So they need that not just in school or for PE, but at home as well. Okay, they really need the exercise, and especially for the school year, that should be factored into the child's schedule, child's day, the child's week. A child needs to get enough sleep. No longer can you stay up late, watch movies, say before sleep. There has to be a set bedtime. There has to be a set bedtime. Parenting to enforce it, and students need to be more disciplined. Because when you get less sleep, it really affects your ability to pay attention. Really restricts your performance, how well you can take in. Affects your memory too, how much you can recall, and how much you can focus. People's sleep is important. Don't try to cram and study last minute. So when students really get little sleep. You need to study, you need to practice what you taught. And again, assignments are always good. People love leaving what they learn to the last minute. They think they understand it, but they've never actively gone through it. And they wonder why they're struggling at the end. And they barely pass. Right? Don't skimp on sleep, please. And even if it's not something academic, it's very important for your brain health, very important for your body, especially if you are exercising. Your body has to recover. New tissues, muscle cells need to break down and grow properly. So that is one thing that we should not skimp on. Now let's move into the financial side of things. Again, money is very important, especially in the students' lives, especially if you on your own, especially university. Very important that you can manage money properly. At lower levels, very important that you manage what you have, especially the parents. Really, parents really manage what they have so that they have enough for you. Alright? So that is something that you need to be savvy on. Number one, students, children, be content with what you have. A lot of times we have needs and they're met, and yes, we want something, but a lot of times we want something only because somebody else has it, and we're jealous. So you see your friend want X, and you want it too. See your friend have particular shoe, and you want a shoe just like that. People learn to be content with what you have, and a lot of times, a lot of children, especially, don't understand the sacrifice that parents make to simply give them what they have, make sure that they have food on the table every day, afford to go to school, or lunch money, or bus money. Sometimes they don't know. Parents don't have to tell you. And yes, we all have things that we want, and but however, it should not be. Those ones shouldn't come out of jealousy, and we should really be as students mindful of that when we ask for things. Do I really want that? How does that help me? Why do I want it? Do I need it? Okay, these are questions that you can always ask yourself. Again, on the financial sense, yes, we try to conserve money. However, we should try not to skimp on our nutrition. Okay, yes, we try to buy the cheapest food. However, food, nutrition a child takes in plays a big role in their ability to perform at school. Plays a big role in their ability to focus, really understand what is taught, to remember, study, and to really hold their attention for a long time, to really focus in class. Okay, and especially for children exercise, they need the nutrition. And as much as we try to conserve, parents try to make sure at least your children get decent meals, and decent snacks as well. Again, it's better and cheaper to prepare food from home, parents. Children as well, those who have that responsibility. It's better to do so. It's cheaper at times. So yes, we complain of price, but prepare from home, it may be a lot cheaper. It's not. That's not the case all the time. It may be a lot cheaper and more convenient for you. Okay. The other thing is that don't waste money, right? And yes, so we all have something that we want to buy at the end of the month, or we feel for, or want to reward ourselves with. But please don't waste money. Alright? It's okay to have something that you want to reward yourself for. You all should have a reward system. Something that motivates us to go the extra mile to do more. But don't go with it over the top. Alright? Some of us, by far, we spend more than we have. And it's one of the obvious things. We don't need these things. We watch it once and we don't use it again. And we have to try to avoid it as much as possible. Because yes, you may have X or Y amount of dollars on one day, but the next day you may not have so much. Sometimes you may not have any at all. So we need to try to make sure to conserve what we have and not waste. Not waste. And something I realize that parents do is that they budget the amount of money child has for the week. That's good. Again, some parents give them the lump sum and tell them that's what you have for the week. So you force them to manage what they have and really use it. So if they know they overspend on one day, they have to really make up for it. Or they have to keep within the amount that they have. It's good. It's good. Teach them some financial responsibility there. And final part, again, look at shopping. Again, the year has begun. Yes, the year has begun. However, parents advisable to do your shopping early. Right? Do your shopping early. Try to avoid the last minute rush. Last minute rush. You get books, clothes, materials. I know it's a time that there's a lot of sale, right? So some parents actually wait for that time to make those purchases, but it's not always worth the hassle. Okay? Again, child should actually be preparing for school, not worrying whether they can get that shoe on the last day before school, the last weekend before school, right? Or they can get the cheapest. Yes, we all have limits as to what we have, what we can spend. But as much as possible, try to avoid last minute shopping. Okay? It'll save you a lot of stress. Make sure you are informed about the choices of what you really want to buy, and make sure you see what's around. And just pick the first thing. Alright? Do not just pick the first thing that you get. And give the child something, or if you student, get yourself something that'll last. Alright? Think that's will last. Why buy something, again, shoe, and 2 months, 1 month, you gotta get a new one. And sometimes you get a new one and it's even more expensive. Or you buy something pretty expensive and it's not needed, or it's not acceptable within a particular institution, or your child's institution, sorry, and you have to return it or not worry or get something else or modify it. So make sure you buy something that lasts, and make sure, yes, we all love aesthetics, we all love to look good, something that looks good, but the thing has to be steady, it has to last, and we should not overlook that aspect, that factor. Finally, listeners, do not forget to buy what's important. A lot of us, yes, we're now trying to look good, and we want to get them the best quality things. It's expensive too, and we skip what's important. Now, what's important? Now, of course, the child has to have the needs. All right, materials that they need: books, stationery, uniform, whatever, and whichever other things that they need, right? And get these first. Okay, get these first. Now we have a message coming in. Very, very good topic. Needed and insightful. Thank you so much, listener. Dear listeners, I appreciate your comments, your feedback on the show, on the content that we're delivering. Really appreciate it. And I know that there is some static on the station. Again, apologize. Again, I did say that we are carrying out some repairs, and that's why our show was off for 2 weeks. And continuing, really need to make sure that buy what children need first. Sometimes we spend money on expensive things and a basic necessity the child doesn't even have it. A book, particular apparatus. Again, students have, say, extracurricular subjects. They may need certain things. So, some basic necessities. Get these first. Make sure you have this. Okay? Now, listeners, that is the end of my segment. Again, I have spoken on, as said, on 4 aspects. I've given you tips on 4 aspects of child's development and preparation for school year. Again, I spoke on the academic side of things. quite a few tips there. Also, I covered the health section.